Hello, Michelle. How's it going today?
Hey, Lindsay, I'm good. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. So, what are we getting into in today's episode?
Today, we are talking about this idea that understanding something is a two-way street, right? So, it's important for you as the listener to show that you're interested, but it's also important to show that you understand what you're listening to in a confident way. So, that's what we're getting into today. We're going to be using a conversation that we used in another episode, and we're going to talk more about that.
Yeah, this is going to be great. I can't wait. It's really smart to be able to rephrase things in a way that keeps the conversation going so that you don't have to stop if you're confused. There are other ways to make sure that you are on track and make sure you stay connected to the conversation and the person. So let's get into it, Michelle. And guys, go ahead and hit subscribe right here on YouTube to get more videos like this one.
Hey, Michelle. How's it going?
Hey, Lindsay, I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Oh my gosh, I've been busy lately. I've been traveling, lots of things going on, but life is good. No complaints. No complaints.
Good, good. Yes, me too. I've been with some family, so that's been good. But it's like interesting getting back into traveling, like getting used to that again.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about getting back into it? What are you experiencing when it comes to traveling?
Well, I'm really just driving, so I haven't been on a flight like you, but just getting back into the swing of things. I don't know. How about you?
Yeah, the movement. I don't know what it is. Something about physical movement, moving around the country, around the world really invigorates me. It makes me feel like, I don't know, it's just so refreshing. It just I love it. I love it. So I know that, we can't quite travel all over the world at this point, but we could travel within our own country a little bit. Yeah. And, in May, in a couple of weeks, I'm planning to take a trip to Arkansas and do a little workcation over there.
Oh, nice. Well, that's good.
Yeah, I'm going to explore our country a little bit, which is one thing that's come out of this pandemic is a chance to explore our own country. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Yeah. And I think, the two of us went, well, no, you did a lot of exploring of the country before.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mostly headed out. So now, it is kind of this, okay, well, let's see, what can we do here? There's a lot.
For sure. There's a lot. So what are we getting into today, Michelle? What are we talking about?
Okay, well, I'm really excited for this episode. So this is a follow-up on episode 1576, which was how to understand a fast technical explanation in English. And guys, this was a conversation about our conversation and coffee program. Yeah. And we had a whole episode where we had a clip, and in this episode we were talking about recycling and composting. And Lindsay, you came up with this great idea because one of the things that came up was this idea of rephrasing and rewording to show that you understand. So guys, listen to 1576 to definitely hear more, get the whole clip, and hear more about what we're talking about. So today we're going to get really deep into this as far as speaking goes as well.
Definitely. This is such a connection skill, Michelle, because to be able to, first of all, show that you understood is huge. People want to be understood, right? And when you can show that and you can bring it back to them, they know that you're right there with them in that conversation.
Especially, if somebody's putting time into explaining something, right? So especially like we were talking about, technical explanations, somebody's taking the time to do that, you want to really be on the other end. And either if you don't understand, ask more or show that you understand, right? So it's very important to really also for you to double check that you have the right information, right?
Yeah, especially if it is long-winded and technical, like you said, that kind of situation, we need to make sure we keep up. Keep up.
Definitely, cool. Definitely. I mean, you can say things like, I get it, or I see, but this doesn't necessarily help you out. We want to give you the tools to help, to also give you a little bit of an extra hand in showing, okay, I just want to make sure that I understand. And instead of saying, is it this or that? Right now we have a lot of different ways to do it.
So this is just as much for you as for the other person, right? As for the connection, it's for your own understanding to have a better conversation a few minutes later,
Right. So this is like really a double whammy, guys. This is important for everybody. So huge connection skill. So let's talk about it. So you were explaining composting or recycling and how it links to how you want to have this healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
And here is where I rephrased and reworded. So I said, so were you just kind of encouraged? Were you like, if I have to compost more? And then you were like, I want to do it more and I'll be healthy. Yes. So
yeah. It's sort of hard.
It's so funny just to read it, like it's a play.
Definitely. It is weird. Guys, go back to 1576 to listen to that episode to get more details on what we're talking about here. But what you did here, Michelle, is you chimed in to check to make sure that you are on the same mind track as I was when I was explaining that, kind of, right?
Exactly. And it showed that I was interested.
Yes.
Right. Instead of just, oh, okay, like that's what it is, right? It showed that I was interested. It showed that I understood, or you could have said, and this could be a follow-up episode, you could have said, oh, no, actually, no, it's really this, right? So maybe, we should do a follow-up on how to, if somebody is giving you one of the answers, how to say, no, I actually meant this.
Yes, that would be great. That'd be another great episode. Let's write that down as an idea. I love it.
Yeah. And it also showed that I wanted to hear more, right? Because I was asking you, I said, yeah, right. And it just kind of, I don't know, it showed that I was intrigued.
Yes, so good. And so how did you do it, Michelle? What exactly technically did you do here?
So I asked a question. I mean, it kind of seems like a worded in a little bit of a strange way, but it really was a question. Yeah. And I in my question, I was applying daily life, right? I put it into context. So I was kind of trying to say, oh, so is this, so you felt this way. So you gave the technical explanation. And then I said, so this is how you felt. And this is how it applied to your life.
Yes, I love that. And again, maybe we should repeat again what you said, Michelle, just so that they can kind of catch up.
Okay. It's embarrassing. Okay. So I said, all right, I'll try and put on my best Michelle imitation. Okay. So were you just kind of encouraged? Were you like, if I have to compost more, and then you were like, I want to do it more and I'll be healthy. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're kind of taking an extra step. Like I can tell because you were talking to me because I was trying to explain, I could tell that you really cared about understanding. So that's huge.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. So guys, today we're going to talk about more ways to do this, how you can show someone that you understand and prove to yourself, right? So that two-way street, I guess I can call it, that you understood correctly. So all of this is generally about the idea of rephrasing what you understood in different ways. So we're going to talk about how to do that.
Exciting. Understanding is a two-way street. I like that. That's a good little soundbite.
Like a good title.
Good soundbite. I love it. So good. Okay, Michelle. So then what do we need to know to understand how to do this?
Okay, good. So, So, I mean, the general ones I mentioned a little bit, saying things like, I get it, I see, or gotcha. So you can put those first and then you can add some more. So, and sometimes we use a question intonation, but sometimes, because I guess I said, oh, mine was kind of a question, right? Sometimes it's more of a statement to sound confident and show you understand, right? So
for sure.
So what's one thing you can do, Lindsay?
Okay, so this expression, this idea of kind of, so for example, giving an example. So you're kind of throwing out an example to make sure you understand. And you say, so for example, blah, blah, blah.
Right. Should we do a little role play on that?
Let's show our listeners a role play. Here we go.
Okay. All right. So that's why all around commute times are totally different depending on the city.
Gotcha. So for example, New York's trains are busier than the trains in DC, and that leads to different commute times.
Definitely. Okay. You got it.
Okay. So I'm like extending what you're saying, and we're working together to build kind of an argument here, right?
Exactly. I made that up. I have no idea. But all of these are made up technical explanations, guys. But yeah, exactly. So that's kind of one strategy, this idea of giving an example. So give an example to show you understand.
Yes, so good. So that's the first one. And then there's another thing we can say and do.
For giving examples. So the second one is, okay, so it's basically
And
Well,
this is
this is
also doing
it's
example.
kind of an example, but
It's,
not necessarily.
I would call this like boiling it down.
Let's say boiling it down. Okay, that's the
I love
boiling it down category.
I
So
love that
it's
expression.
basically, yeah.
Okay, so it's basically, right? All right, here we go, Michelle. Let's show an example. That
Okay.
lifestyle will help people function in such better ways.
Okay, so it's basically healthy lifestyle, good sleep, and me time.
That's right. Okay. Very nice. So yeah, so boiling it down, just boiling it down to its essential parts of the argument of what you're trying to say. Right?
Exactly. And then the next thing is asking questions or making statements in context. So for example, so blank leads X to do Y. So you're saying, so this thing leads, right? So let's give an example.
Okay. And that's why there's been such a fluctuation in the sales.
Okay, I see. So the clients lead their friends to more information.
Right. Okay. So blank leads X to do Y. That's very high level. Feels like it would be useful in the business world.
Yeah. So you're saying, so what it basically this is kind of connecting things as well.
Yes, I would say so. Yeah. So blank leads X to do Y. So you're showing the cause and effect in a way.
Exactly. Okay, let's do another one.
Okay, compare or contrast. Here's an example. So this is the same as, or this is different from, or this is similar to X. Okay.
So this is another way that you can test your understanding. All right. So let's put this into a role play. Okay. So you would press the blue button after you've gone through the whole list twice.
I understand. So this is the same as what we do in the Jazz Up software.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this could be useful, guys, in some kind of a training. If you're being trained for your job and you want to, you see a connection and you want to make sure that that connection is true and correct, you can use this. Okay.
Right. Exactly. Or if you are the one doing the explaining, always just saying, okay, this is like this, right? This compare and contrast.
Yeah. Well, wow, Michelle, we have a lot of these here. A lot of our listeners are getting a lot of great vocabulary.
I know. I didn't realize how many I have. We could do a follow-up, or should we keep it going?
Maybe let's do one more and then we'll wrap it up. What do you think?
Let's do one more. I agree. So the last one we're going to do for today is to ask a new but connected question to lead to further conversation. Okay. So one expression you could use is, I see. So in the future, right? So you're kind of using a connection.
Yeah, you're projecting something into the future. Here we go. So the consumption of meat has been completely different over the past 10 months.
I see. So in the future, it will continue to fluctuate?
I think so. Okay, good. Okay. So you've learned something, and now you're saying, what does this mean in your mind for the next step, for the future?
Right.
So good. Wow. This is very high level.
Yeah, guys. I mean, this is very, very important stuff, right? So when someone is giving you some sort of explanation, to make it that two-way street, because instead of saying, I'm not exactly sure, is this what it means? This is kind of a confident way to secretly be checking, if you understand.
Yes, right. We don't have to just say, did you say this or did you mean this? There's a lot of very articulate and confident ways, like you said, Michelle, to check your understanding, but also further the connection and intellectual discussion, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So instead of that just sounding, oh, I don't know, right? This just if you think you have an idea, just put it out there. Use one of these strategies, put it out there. And then if you're wrong, the person will say it, and that's fine. So of course it's also okay to do it the other way, but this is kind of, I don't know. I feel like you're projecting a little bit more confidence.
It's smart. I think I do this a lot, actually, in a way, because it's kind of it is a way of not looking like you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
A way of making sure you don't, if you're confused, that you don't show that and you get that clarification, and then you move on. Like you don't stop the whole conversation and say, what? I don't get it. Or, you know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. So it's just a different way, like a more confident way to check for understanding. And the worst that happens is they tell you, oh no, actually it's this. And then okay, that's fine. Like, that's not a big deal. Just if you think you have any idea what they're talking about, try one of these strategies, put it out there, and let them tell you if that's correct or not.
Yeah, true. Although a lot of times I notice that people just say yeah, or they say exactly when you're not right nowadays. Do you know what I mean? When they respond to you, yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally. Right. But you're not necessarily correct. That's the only problem. But that's another episode for another day, Michelle, I think.
Yeah,
we can solve that problem later. So, all right, Michelle, before we finish up today, where can our listeners go to find out their fluency score?
Guys, go to allearsenglish.com/fluency score. There you can take a short quiz and you will really get your base fluency level. So you know, where are you right now? And then you can get resources that are directly for you, perfect for you and your level.
Exactly. You have to know where you're starting to know how to get to where you want to go. That's the key. So guys, today has been a really good way for you, a very high level, smart sounding way for you to clarify, make sure you understand what you're hearing and continue that conversation. Don't stop the conversation and draw a lot of attention to yourself if you're not quite sure. This is a way to do it and keep it going. Okay? Very smart.
Exactly. Well, this was fun. Yeah. Rephrase. You don't have to necessarily summarize, use these different techniques. Show you're interested, prove you understand. So try these out in the next time, in your next conversation where someone's giving you an explanation.
Excellent. Sounds good, Michelle. Thanks for hanging out today.
Thanks, Lindsay. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.